Well, hey there, everybody. This is Justin from the CartoonSmart podcast. And yet again, I'm going to be joined by, he's kind of becoming a friend, Cleavon from Orlando. You want to come in here? I do indeed. Good to see you back. And you said if I did enough of those Xcode tutorials, you're going to let me draw a little something in here. So we're going to use the fancy, newly renamed, unnecessarily renamed Adobe Animate CC. I'm not sure what the CC stands for, but Animate does make a little bit of sense. Nobody wants to use that Flash anymore just because it got killed out by Ashton Kutcher a while back. So what we're going to do, right, is maybe you want to call it an intermediate lesson so we can kind of speed through things here, podcast style. Yeah, I think that's fine. If you don't want to touch on too many of the basics, let's just draw and have a little bit of a good time. All right, so we're going to, as the name implies over here, we're going to do a robot, but it's going to be Cleavon bot because, well, it's not going to look like me, but I'm the one drawing it. So, okay, let me sample out a nice little blue color here, and I'm going to make the stage a little bit lighter just so you can see the black strokes that I drew over here. That was a band name I was in once, the Black Strokes. Okay, that looks a bit big. Let's take the stroke down. Let's go over here, and I did just draw a square, right? And there we go. That doesn't look like too much. Not a good robot head, but I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to start to bend things out. Now, I always go for this black arrow over here, not the white arrow. The white arrow makes it so that you can see these the points, right? Is that the name of it? The little points. That's the vector points. Yep, the vectors. Okay, so, and if I just move that around, look at that thing right there. Just popped off to one side. And if you're on the Mac, you can hold down the Option key, and this will actually give you the option. That's a good, I never noticed that before. That the Option key gives you more options. Is that why they called it that? That's funny. I never really thought about it, too. I've just always thought, I guess you're right. That is something else. All right, so that gives you the option, although as soon as you start holding it down, it's not really optional. It just does it for you. But that's going to make it so that you can add another point over here, and then we'll do the same thing again. Option, kind of optionally, do another point, and then, oops, I moved it over there. Well, you see how when I've got the stroke just around the fill shape, that's the fill shape, and then this right here, I double click on it, that's the stroke. If you kind of made them together like that, they stay stuck together, right? But if let's say I chewed like a hole out of this or something, you can notice that that still stays stuck to it. But that's just kind of one of those things about drawing in Adobe Animate. So let's go ahead and just pop this up just a little bit, like the hood of my truck is popped up just a tad, just to give it that more realistic feel. And then wouldn't it be kind of funny if this robot was a little bit unshaven, right? So what we could do is take another line through here. Not everybody can afford to shave every day. I know you can't because you're always scruffy over there. Yeah, that's true. I just don't like shaving. Yeah, who does? I certainly don't. That's why I got this sweet Fu Manchu look. So there we go. I drew the line right across here. And you'll notice now that I can select this part separate from the other fill. So I could go into the fill color now, sample that, or just click on that little spinny color wheel. There it is. Go, just knock it down just a tad, maybe even like a little bit further. And so now it looks like he's kind of got, like he hasn't gone to the robot barber in a while. Okay, so that's part of his head. Let's try to make it so that now we give it a little bit more dimension by taking another line, just throw it right down here. Hi-ya, what? Look at that. It's in there, and look at this. Now I could grab these two colors and I can make them a little bit darker. And again, this just leads up to us giving it a more dimensional sort of look to it. So drop that down like that, like a little drop kick on the color, and then sample. Let's just sample that right there. Again, while it's still selected, we can go over here to the wheel fun, and then knock that down. And then now you got a decision that you need to make here. Are you going to do a line, to kind of disembark every single area, or you're going to do something a little bit more subtle like that, you know. But there is actually, you know, life is all about compromises. And what you could consider doing is taking another line, maybe drop it to 1.5 like that, and then just kind of go through here. Look at this. Do something like that. It kind of makes it feel like the robot has a bit of a lived-in look to him. Maybe somebody does actually live in there. If it was rent-free, I would live in a robot, well, hands down, no problem. Another thing you could do is drop a line like right over to here, and then take the same line, copy it, and there's this neat little feature in here. You can go paste in place, which is really, in every graphical program, it should just be paste in place. What on earth would you be doing? Just pasting it out in the middle there, right? But if you get to learn that hotkey, you're going to be doing good for yourself. Paste it back in place again, and then you can just kind of nudge it off to the side. Now watch what happens when I do this. I'm going to go over here, grab that stroke color, not the fill color, and then I'm just going to bump this up to like what that color was. And you'll notice how that gives it kind of a dimensional look to it, you know. And you could do that a whole bunch of other places. Like we could come over here, and in this case, let's get it back to being black again, and then copy and paste it. This time we'll sample maybe that color, right like that. And he is looking. That's a good looking robot right now. Today is May the 4th, though. It's Droid Day out there in the world. I'm going to do another layer over here. Don't worry about it too much. Although if you want to, at this point, you could just, if you're like, that is a sweet head, go over and just convert it to, not a bitmap, convert it to a symbol. And this is going to put this sweet robot head. I can't type over your microphone that is now huge to accommodate both of us. It did. It got like twice as big. I can barely see what you're doing over there. I know. Maybe you could get like we could do those Call of Duty type microphones where we can just kind of be hands free and it just kicks off our head. You know, that'd be pretty sweet. All right. So it made it a library. It put it in the library, and you can see. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Seat robot head, a sweet robot head. And now if we want this if we want two of them out here, we could just drop them both out like that. But the whole deal with the library is, watch what happens. If I come over here and I just, you know, just take a bite out of that, boom, it's going to do it to both of them. Okay, so if you don't want that to happen, but you did want to reuse something that you already made, you want to go over here to symbol, duplicate symbol, eerily similar to a copy, right? You would think copy, duplicate, same thing. Took me about 20 years to figure out that those words were synonymous, and now in this program they are not synonymous. I'm surprised you knew the words synonymous. That's a kind of a big one for you. Well, I've been boning up on my well, see, now I'm at a loss of words. What the terminology for one word meaning another thing. Vocabularistics, I suppose. All right, so cancel that out. But if that is how you would make an independent version of that. And all right, so let's now do some crazy robot eyes. What are we at? 8 minutes over here. Dang, we gotta lock these things up. You know, there's no time limit if you're gonna go and you know what? I'm sorry, I don't want to be inside that symbol. Although that is a point that I should make. You could double click inside of here to just kind of again get in here and start messing around with them again. But go back over here to scene, and I just want to draw something up on top of another layer, so I could lock that layer. And I'd probably be in better shape doing that. So I'm just going to grab a square. And to finish my thought, I was going to say that, you know, if you go over to CartoonSmart.com, there's not really a time limit. You like to keep things kind of under 20 minutes or so, just so people don't venture off and go do other things like mow their lawn and stuff like that. But, you know, certainly we're not as keeping that much. It's bigger quality too, isn't it? Is it bigger? Are the videos bigger? Not size-wise, but quality-wise. I think they're bit. I compress these podcasts so you guys don't have to download too much on your mobile devices and stuff like that. That is nice. Yeah, and you can get these not every day, because I'm not here every day. I got to do other jobs most days. So I'm just drawing now another I use most days loosely, actually. I'm just drawing another shape on top of that red shape that I put over here to make it so we now got 2 layers of eye-related materials. And now I'm just going to make it so that he looks a little bit angry. Actually, that line I could see keeping, but maybe bending. No, you know what? That won't work either. Well, actually, I could throw it right over to there, and you can see kind of what the shape would look like. I might want to bump this up a little bit, like give it one more kind of line up that way. And now look what happens. You can kind of do stuff like this, make it go up and down. So he's thinking about things, you know, who he's gonna blast with his laser eyes. Yeah, he does have laser eyes for sure. All right, so now I'm just going to drop down here, this one right here. And there we go. I wonder if there's ever going to be like a social network for robots. And if there was, maybe I would imagine every robot could handle being friends with every other robot, so that you just sign on and then you immediately get added to everyone else's friend thing. Because they could comprehend that. Maybe they could unfriend other robots though if they got in their way, but just by default you're friended with everybody. Let's just call this robot eyelids. There it is right there. And I wonder if that would be, and then now I'm going to work on the layer below all that. So I'm going to do kind of like a shine over here. I got distracted thinking about the robot Facebook, Robook or Bot Book or something like that. And actually, I was thinking, is there a way that you could just sign on there and just immediately be friends with everybody? Kind of like, remember that time I tried to download everything on the internet at once? Did you? I don't actually remember that. Yeah, remember I was asking you if I could like if I could go to a page and then download everything that was linked up to that page, and then every other page that was linked up to that one. And Cleveland, you realize that literally would start downloading the entire internet. Well, Daddy, that's what I wanted. I wanted to download the entire internet. That way I would have like a local copy of it on my mobile device. That way, you know, everything. I would imagine everything would load up a lot faster too. I don't have to. We only got 1G in our town, not 4G like you guys. It's just down to 1. So if I could have like a local copy of everything, here I'm just trying to make this alpha go down a little bit. There it is. So that way I could do like a little bit of shadowing underneath this eye. I haven't been doing that much instruction in the past minute or so. I've just been kind of doing things. Well, that's the problem. And, you know, that's not something that you wouldn't, that wouldn't be in one of your paid or premium subscriber tutorials, because you don't get that distracted. And also you don't have me talking on the videos too. So, and I'm the main reason for the distractions. Okay, so this is going to be shadows. And yeah, I already got that one. And then that's a good looking eye right here. I wouldn't mind continuing this in like another day's tutorials or something. Well, here's kind of a situation. Look at this. I want to bend that down because I don't feel like this is running parallax to the other line that's down here. So if I want that to go parallax, I've got to maybe grab all this right here and then just give it a little bit of a tilt. See, now watch this. Oh, this one's not selected. Hold on. Grab all that. And then just with the free transform tool, see that guy over there? That I keep hitting Q. I haven't told you once that I was doing that. But here it is. We're just going to dip it on down like that. If I were to do it to the extreme, look at that. But look, now I'm just trying to keep my eyes focused on if it's running parallax. I got, there it is. All right. Yeah. Okay, now we gotta make these into a symbol. Let's call it robot eyes. Robot eyes. You want to know a little bit of a trick too? Watch this. You could pop over to here, get rid of the library, open up your filters. Actually, I'm going to close up some of this so you can see everything perfectly. And you could glow these bad boys out. Look at that. Do a little bit of a glow on them. But it's kind of odd that you got the black line right there and then you got the glow around it. So something that you could consider doing first is hit inner glow. So that's going to do like this little smooth red glow around that. And then you could copy this. So copy all filters, just paste it back on in there. And then flip that one of them back to be an outer glow again. And the more you kind of knock up one of them, the less you got to worry about that kind of black effect showing through there. So you could do something like that. I mean, I still kind of like the black, but yeah, I'm just saying if you wanted to glow it, you could do all sorts of stuff. You got to watch out for it creeping out over to the side there. A lot of creepers in this world. All right, here we go. Get rid of that and yeah, just step it all back. And do we have enough time for doing some sort of grill up in here? Yeah, I think go for it. If people aren't gonna, it's free, number one, and if they don't want to pay attention to it, I guess they would have already backed out by now. Yeah, I reckon they kind of would. All right, so let's go over here. You know what? In a lot of situations, there's not that they've lost attention, right? It's weather permitting. That's a WP, weather permitting. We use that a lot where I'm from. So, you work outside, you work with your hands. It starts to rain up on you, or the wind starts gusting. You can't be working on your laptop in that situation. Cliff, do you work outside, but you work with your laptop a lot? Yeah, I do indeed. Let's suppose you're like digging a hole or something like that. You got like the backhoe. Well, it's not like 100% backhoeing the whole time. There's a lot of times where you're just hanging out under the caddy of that thing. That's what we call it, the caddy. And I get time to do I get time to watch some of the tutorials that you do and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of kicking it over there. And then that's a weather permitting situation. I can't, if it starts to gust up or rain up, I don't want to get, I got an old, I draw on a BlackBerry. Yeah, I didn't know you could draw on a BlackBerry. You mean one of those ones with the keyboard and everything? Yeah, you could do that. Some of them came with a little pen that you could draw on. And like I said, 1G, they haven't upgraded it. I'd probably be doing, if I could, I would go get one of those new phones from one of the new phones that people get rid of, right? At the mall, they have like a little drop box for just getting rid of your phone. To me, that would actually be new, and I could use one of those. So if I could jimmy that open somehow, I think I'd be kind of in better shape than what I got. All right, so it looks like that's a good looking mouth right there. A robot mouth. A robot ribbit. I can't spell Robot. I just wrote robot. I didn't even, doggone it. You know what I did too? I put together the shadow with the other artwork, and then it just kind of, the transparency just kind of filled its way in there, which is not at all what I wanted. You know what? I might just step this all back a little bit. This is why pencils have erasers and why we have lawyers and knife, just to undo the things that we messed up. All right, so shadow. Man, nothing is going my way. It's because I'm so far away from the keyboard. There it is, mouth, shadow. Every mouth does have a shadow. Then this would just be like the regular mouth. I don't even know why. I should just be naming those things symbol. Okay, so I feel like we're off to a pretty good start. This could be all sorts of different things. We could continue with it. We could make a body. We could do all sorts of things, or just you could even consider making this into like a sticker or a decal. If you want to give it like a decal effect, watch this. Bump out these lines. Oh, look at that. That's already looking nice. And then go over here to color effect. Tint it up, zoop, like something like that maybe, just to give it like an outer. A lot of times stickers and stuff like that have this like nice little like thick outer shell. And then here's another cool thing you can do. If you're just showing off on your website that, hey, I do bumper stickers for whatever block party or whatever thing that you're promoting around your town. We call them shindigs a lot of the time. What you could do is, so you could say like, I'm the bumper sticker master, and even though I can't show, I can't make it so that you could peel and unpeel a sticker off your screen, but if you want to show people that, look, this is kind of like, this would be what the sticker would look like a second before you adhere it to something else. Just throw it down there with that little drop shadow like that. I kind of also like that. Look, this one right here. Look at that. That sort of looks cool too. Give it a bit of an outline, and then it could be like a speech bubble coming out here saying like come to the trailer park for the shindig. Okay, so is that it? I blew the 20-minute mark. Doggone it, Cleavon, man, you do talk. I left actually for a little while here. I was just gone downstairs getting some coffee. So what did you do? You came back with I guess that looks pretty good. What do you mean pretty good? I think that looks pretty fresh right there. Here's my problem with you. You know the road, right? But you have trouble walking it. What do you mean? I mean, you don't do enough of just messing around and having a good time. So it's like one thing for you to like have all the information up in your head, but it's easy to know the road, but hard to walk it. That's a saying where I come from. And it actually applies to more than just the specific specific road that we have in mind when we say that, because there's a lot of like snakes, and sometimes people throw booby traps on that road if they want to hijack it, but or not hijack it, just get some of your money. Say, listen, I got this snake right here that's going to come at you if you don't give me your wallet. So they say that's the road to go down, but you don't want, it's not easy to get through that, but it is a nice shortcut. So anyway, all right, I'm going to get on out of here, and I'll let you do the rest of your usual thing for CartoonSmart.com. Check it out, where you're not going to hear Cleavon, but you're going to hear Fancy Pants over here. I'm basically in a bathing suit. I'm not. How fancy do I look? You're fancier than me. All right, I'm out.